take it steady. I think I've said don't tear the pants out of it once before from this or a similar podium. But frankly, we're back to that again now. The government has given people freedoms to start to make these judgments for themselves. And I understand that, you know, we can't live for years and years on end with rules. You know, people will have to learn to manage these risks from COVID. I don't know if many of you are used to kind of crawling into small tents on mountainsides. But if you do so, and you know there's a storm blowing, going to come up in the night, it's better to put some extra guy ropes on there and then than it is to wait until it's the middle of the night, it's howling with wind and rain, and you've then got to get out your tent and make your tent secure. The train has now slowed down safely. It has now stopped in the station and the doors have opened. That was the authorisation by the MHRA. What we need now is for people to get on that train and travel safely to their destinations. Those destinations are all over the UK. This train is going to stop several times on the way. It's going to have to reach all parts of the UK. There will be trains that come behind it, and that is all going to take time. So everyone needs to be delighted with the news today, but equally patient and realistic about how this rolls out over the next few months. It's a bit like being 3-0 up in a game and thinking, well, we can't possibly lose this now. But how many times have you seen the other side take it 4-3? Do not wreck this now. It is too early to relax. Just continue to maintain discipline and hang on. Just a few more months. Do not wreck this now. We are so close. Omicron is like now picking up a couple of yellow cards to key players on top. We may be okay, but we're kind of starting to feel at risk that we might go down to 10 players. And if that happens, or if that's a risk that it's going to happen, then we need everyone on the pitch to up their game in the meantime. And that's really upping your game in terms of boosters and in terms of antibody responses. A train journey where you're standing on the station, it's wet, it's windy, it's horrible, and 2 miles down the tracks, 2 lights appear and it's the train. And it's a long way off. We're at that point at the moment. That's the efficacy result. Then we hope the train slows down safely to get into the station. That's the safety data. And then the train stops. And at that point, the doors don't open. The guard has to make sure it's safe to open the doors. That's the MHRA. That's the regulator. And when the doors open, I hope there's not an unholy scramble for the seats. The JCVI has very clearly said which people are going to need the seats most, and they are the ones who should get on the train first. That's how we have to frame this, and right now it's a couple of miles down the tracks. The way I frame it is that, yes, I understand that to have a vaccine you have to step off the pavement. I completely get that. But it's a bit like crossing the A1 in the dead of night on foot. The risks are, I wouldn't advise anyone to do it, by the way, on foot. But this is a kind of massive beast that we are driving along at enormous pace with enormous success, this vaccine programme. And, you know, if you sail a massive liner across the Atlantic, then it's not really reasonable that you aren't going to have to make at least one course correction during that voyage. And I frame this very much in those terms. You know, that this is a complex product with a very fragile cold chain. It's not a yoghurt that can be taken out of the fridge and put back in multiple times. It's really tricky to handle. And so I think, you know, we'll get there as fast as we can is the answer, and we are trying extremely hard.